Everybody, it is Cinnamon Coney, your Art Sherpa, and today we're going to be doing a more advanced ocean sunset painting. I'm doing this on a 16 by 20. We're going to go a little more into details in cloud painting and ocean painting. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hello.
He's going to help me bring this step-by-step acrylic tutorial to you by making sure that one of our cameras is pointing out what's happening. Now, you guys gave us some really good feedback about some of the switching and maybe getting some inertia for that. So we made some changes to this live stream so that you won't get that kind of woo from the palette cam to the canvas, and then also maybe get a better view of the canvas. That was directly from your feedback. These live shows make a real difference. Now, if you're here for the live, that's very cool. If you're here for the replay, thank you so much for coming. I cannot wait to see either of your paintings in group. You guys have been doing some amazing stuff in the Facebook group. Be sure to put your questions in all caps. On the easel classes, I don't really have a view of Facebook chat or YouTube chat or any of the chats because I'm here very busily teaching class. John's going to catch some during the live. What we can't catch, the moderators are going to make sure you get your questions answered. And we're going to really get into everything. Are you guys ready to kind of just jump on in?
I think so.
All right, let's go for these materials. So I've got a 16 by 20 surface, and on the 16 by 20 surface, I have a simplified wish, is that this painting, this one today, gives you a sense of rest and peace. On the colors, I'm using Docs Purple, Quinacridone Magenta, Phthalo Blue, Phthalo Green, Cad Yellow, Cad Red. I'm using a color sometimes called Tight Knit Yellow, sometimes called Naples Yellow Light. If you don't have it, just mix up a very light yellow with white and yellow for this class. Burnt Sienna, Mars Black, and I may get some of my ultramarine blue in here as we go. If you don't have all the colors for the course, my biggest sense of advice is to do a color chart. If you are doing a bunch of lessons from different teachers and you're just like, man, I got to get this color and that color and this color and that color, and you want to stop having that experience, you need to do a color chart. I have several color chart classes. My friend Angela Anderson has color chart classes. Color chart classes are out there. And you should definitely do one because it's going to save you a lot of money. And then you'll buy paint because you want to, not because you have to. I might do traceable after this course, but guys, it's going to be a horizontal line and a diagonal line. And I'm going to show you how to put it in. After, if we have some really defined cloud lines, we may add that to a traceable. Man, how are we doing?
Really
I'm going
good.
to sip my
There's
coffee.
So many people here.
Because we want to do this painting.
Yeah.
Okay, now, we're going to be here a minute, so I want you to check your environment. I have my coffee, and I have a nice mat that goes under my feet so my legs don't get so tired, and I have a plan for a break during the painting. Are you making sure that you're taking care of yourself for this painting? Because even though we're virtual, if you were in my classroom, I'd be checking on you, making sure you were okay.
Making sure.
For a long, long painting, as many of you are about to figure out at the retreat. Because you're going to be painting a long, long time.
It will be a very fun time.
It will be a very fun time, but it'll be long painting. So on this 16 by 20, I need to set something called a horizon line. That just means I can't see anything past this point. Does not mean the earth is flat. Sorry.
It is not. We know it.
We're sure.
I'm very, very sure.
Most of this painting is about this insanely beautiful sky. So if you think this is the halfway point, you want to come down a little bit below that and set a horizon line. I'm going to use a blue watercolor pencil. Ooh. And I'll tell you the exact measurement on that. It looks like it is about 9 inches from the top. All right. So instead of 8, I've dropped it down about 1 inch. And then, oh gosh, 2 fingers from over here. I'm going to make a little mark. And I'm going to come down to just paint. If this is the halfway point, let's just come over about 2-3 inches. And guess what this is? The beach. I'm going to make a little line here. There's the lines. See my little lines? We're painting the beach in perspective. And then there's another one here I'm going to kind of put in. I'm going to have a little frothier beach. This is not the first time I painted this. I painted this reference the first time in 2018 at a place called NAMTA, which is a trade materials show. And but it was it was a bigger piece, and I put a girl in it. And we did a print for my patrons. If you did the crowdfunder and you didn't get a print, be sure to write us at support@theartsherpa.com.
Is this step 1 we're in?
Yeah.
We should tell that step 1 thing.
Step 1.
Draw some stuff in.
Draw some stuff in.
And do it earlier.
Do it earlier.
Not now, but like 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, about 3 minutes ago.
We know this was supposed to go there.
The mini book will be correct. We tried to create step-by-step written down instructions that match the timestamps to the video, that match the steps in the video, so that you guys can have pictorial references as you go.
Yeah, the lines are really hard to see. I'll dim. It's because
I'm about to put them in paint, so they're going to be super easy to see in a half second.
You could use a traceable.
And you can use a traceable. We'll make one of those for after. But basically, we were 9 inches down from the top of the surface, and we dropped a horizon line. We came 2 fingers from that on the right-hand side, went past the halfway mark here, and dropped a diagonal line.
You know what now it is? Step 2.
Step 2. Let's do step 2. And I'll kind of sketch this in lightly with some paint so you can see a little bit better. That'll help.
That'll help.
We got time. This is live. We can make those little adjustments. I'm going to go ahead and get maybe some light blue. Let's just take some light blue and say, come here and go this here. All right. See that there? That was the horizon. Coming down, wiggling on the toe of my brush, trying to make it sharp and even because water doesn't rush to the shore evenly. That's the diagonal.
Yeah.
Can you see that one yet?
It's really dim. Let me look over on your left shoulder. Yeah, you can see it over your left shoulder, but it's super. I'm going to have to adjust that camera. There we go.
No, because once all the color goes on this, you guys are going to see it like, really well.
Yeah.
That's the lines.
Yeah, you can see it there now a little better.
All right.
It's just those first lines were super
blue.
Yeah, there's.
All right, I'm going to put my wishes into the ether there. Wish that for the whole world. And let's get a nice big brush. Let's get a serious brush.
What does that
mean? A brush that can paint the canvas, large areas of the canvas pretty easily. I've got some nice big brushes I am trying out these days. If you don't have this fabulous, that's a brush.
That's a brush.
You just want to pick the largest brush in your bucket. If it needs to be an inch or bigger, and this shape. This particular shape is called a bright, but this is the shape you're looking for in your brush. I'm using a big one. These are Simply Simmons. Extra firm, extra jumbo. I'm going to load up some white. Look at it load up that white paint like it's a house. It's like I can pick up all of that paint. And I'm going to come here and, splatter guard.
Splatter guard. Oh, you're too short, aren't you?
I'm too short.
Okay, hold on.
I'm too short. I'm way too short. Get that little hair off my canvas first. I am painting on the Art Alternatives canvases, guys, and I am really loving these. If you see these for sale out there, I am loving them a lot. They are now my other go-to after when I don't grab a Michaels one. I'm liking these. I'm going to mist my surface a little bit because I want my brush to go over this bigger area with a little less drag. The reason I sometimes put a little white on this type of sky is I need to go from a very light, I like this brush, light beginning sky. I'm like, it's all white again. Mist it again. Mist, mist, mist. This is a cheap spray bottle. Like it doesn't even have a brand on it. That's all we're using, a little inexpensive spray bottle. And I'm going to come from the top and I'm going to get some more of that wonderful, fantastic phthalo blue on the edges. And I'm going to start to come in from the sides here, brushing it in. And see, this is very wet. Make sure that's all up under there. And I'm coming in towards the center. See how I'm doing?
I see the star pattern emerge.
Mist, if I need to. This is going to give that sky some drama. I need to get things wet. Load a little more white into it. I'm going to do that. Come back. You can do this with any size brush. Mine might go a little quicker because it's bigger. And bring that on in. And you can see it's just barely a color here and here. Barely color. And see those nice little kind of guides in. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
That's going to really, really set up our sky to have some drama.
We
And
have
I
some
put a
new
little more
folks.
blue on here. New folks!
Yeah, a lot of them.
New folks! Don't panic, new folks. One, I teach a lot of sunsets. This is probably going to be one of the more deep dive sunsets that I've done. So we're going to be here a little longer. There's going to be a few more techniques. I have a lot of very beginner-friendly sunsets that'll get you like ready to start the art.
Norman.
But hang in with us because you're going to learn a lot.
Norman was asking, what do you think about a big old Purdy brush?
Oh, you mean like the bazillion that I have in love? I love them. I love them. I'm just rinsing out my big brush here.
They're a well-made, wide, synthetic brush designed
Just
to
fantastic.
handle acrylic paint with, like,
Use them all the time.
yeah,
They're good brushes.
indiscriminate
Yeah.
brushers.
Here's the trick with the brushes you get at your Ace Hardware and your Home Depot and your Lowe's. They all owe me money now because I shout out their brand. Just kidding, you don't. But if you go there and you buy any brushes from there, right? You can get the ones on the angles, but I like the ones with the edges. I like the cutters. Wash them before you use them. Vigorously, it will help them shed before you put them to your canvas. Shall we do another step?
Let me see if I can find that button.
That button. That button.
It's
That
3 button.
button. All right. Now I've kind of rinsed out my brush. I just wanted to get some blue out of it, you know. And I'm going to come here and I towel it off. And the reason I towel my brushes off is just so that they're not carrying too much water. And I've got this little bottom area. Now here at the little center, I'm going to pull out a little of my pink over here. I'm going to use this tight knit yellow, right? If you don't have this, what did you do? You pre-made some cad yellow with a lot of white into it, so you've got a light value. Be a little different than my color, but guys, substantially for the result of the painting, you won't care. So I'm making this very light yellow pink, aren't I? I'm going to come in from the sides, over the ocean, brushing that in. Come in from the right side.
Ooh.
Brushing that in.
So Mouse says, howdy from Australia.
Howdy from Australia, Mouse.
Mouse thinks you have a cute accent.
I think you have a cute accent too. I love it when people do American accents because I don't hear it till somebody else does it. And I'm like, oh, I've got one too. I'm so excited.
I'm so American.
Merkin. I'm Merkin. And I love it. All right. Now I'm going to rinse out again a little bit.
So.
And I'm going to get out of my biggest big brush ever. Biggest big brush ever.
Big brush.
And I'm going to come in and maybe get a more reasonable sized brush. Number 30.
Yeah.
Get a little bit wet. I'm going to take a little of this yellow and this yellow. All right. And some white. Come in the center here.
Oh.
Now, I have this mister doesn't make big droplets, which mess with my paint. Those are micro misters. Any of the ones that do like facial misting, micro misting, misting for the beauty industry, those will work.
So this is, wait a minute. You just put down a bigger brush than the one you currently have?
I put down a big brush that was a 50, and this is a 30, same line.
Whoa! I was like, wait a minute.
Guys, I got some brushes.
There's some brushes there.
I'm just tired of messing around. I'm like, oh!
Oh, look, we are Sherpa.
Are we
Hello,
Sherpa?
everybody.
Oh my
Nice to
goodness.
see
Let's
everybody.
go back to the early days. The days years and years ago when nobody even wanted to be on YouTube and do a little dance.
Sherpa dance.
We used to do that when we were 300 because we were all into that movie Sparta. Remember that thing?
I
We're like,
do.
we are Sherpa.
And now we still do it.
Now we still do it.
We're-
Oh, that's looking really
It
good.
really is.
That's just a very beginning.
Is that like even a step-worthy place?
I think it is. I think it is. And let's just talk about that. We have the nice kind of peachy pink over here. We've got a radial of yellow going out. We've got this great motion in the sky. everything we set from here is going to feel like you're just seeing the light of the divine. It's going to be amazing. You'll be like, this is the best sunset. My heart, my soul, my joy will be up to here. And you're like, no, because it's clouds. What are you talking about? For the next part, though, I do want my sky to be dry, so I'm going to dry this with a hairdryer.
All right. Okay, so this is the part where I have to tell you about not using heat. That's a good thing not to do. Don't use heat. Hold on a second. Ooh, little sneeze. So don't use heat, and make sure that you thoroughly dry. Heat's kind of bad. Ooh, she's back. There, I gotta find. Man, all
More
my
coffee,
buttons are in new places.
Are they in new places?
Gotta remember where to.
Do they like the new setup?
They do seem to.
Less woo woo. You seeing let us know if you're seeing the canvas okay. Let us know if you're all right. Like feedback. We can't always respond to all the feedback. Certainly I've gotten some feedback on my personal page I can't respond to. But what we can respond to, we will. Alrighty. Now I have a bunch of these brushes, these little. I even have this one, but I won't. I won't make you guys deal with this. I'm gonna use it.
Wow, that's a brush.
I know it's like that's not a brush. This is a brush.
That's an Australian brush.
It is. I'm sorry. I don't know if Crocodile Dundee is like popular or not in Australia, or they're like, oh my gosh, that's not okay.
I'm sure.
I have a lot of this style of brush. This is a hog brush in a round, and it's about this big in relationship to my fingers. You can see I have it from every brand. Right now I'm using the Raphael. I might use any of the other ones. You never know. I'm going to get this brush a little bit wet. I'm going to start putting in some clouds. Right? And some some stuff. I'm going to put my ultramarine out because sometimes I do like my docs, but sometimes I like my ultramarine and my pink too. They're an interesting combo as well.
Interesting.
So ultramarine and quinacridone magenta. Just in case you came in, docs purple, quinacridone magenta, ultramarine blue, phthalo green, cad yellow medium, cad red medium, tight knit yellow, sometimes called Naples yellow, light Naples yellow.
Ooh.
Burnt sienna. I may get some Mars black in later. We'll see how it goes.
Now, it's Suzanne. I think it was Suzanne was just asking. Your blending is so nice. Are you using open paints or a medium?
No. That whole magic is. This is the Art Alternatives canvas. It's not fighting me. I can tell you that right now. That's the thing that's happening. So that definitely helped. I was like, ooh. Okay.
Renee was doing the Sherpa dance, by the way. She's with us.
Okay. And then I had this mister, just water, regular acrylic paint, and that big brush. So all those work together in a dance to give me an easier time. But if I were having a hard time, I would definitely get golden open paints out, or I would get a blending medium out, or some other, I put a humidifier over here. I'd have a whole thing going. So you're right in like going, there could have been something there. Now I'm going to make kind of this like little magenta purple over here. And I'm going to sometimes I like to brush my brush into a towel to make sure it's not too heavy in the paint. And I'm going to very lightly start to make these irregular shapes that are distant clouds. And guys, just, you just got to get in there. I'm going to be working from this belly of the brush here to the toe. My brush can be kind of an angle into the surface. And my pressure's super light. Notice what weird little shapes these are. An important thing. I really try to see the weird little shapes.
Oh, we have folks from all over the place.
Do we? Where do we have artists? What artists and from where are you? Tell me.
Well, I see Ireland, New Mexico, and UK, and all these folks. But I do want to say to one of our longtime painters, I see Lindsay out there, and she's a strong intermediate now. And she was kind of like, what does that even mean, man? And so, and I totally relate to that. Because, like, what does it mean when you're sort of labeled these things? And
yeah, it's what it means to use. But generally, if for teachers, if I were to tell another teacher that somebody was an intermediate, if I was to say, on the rare occasion, send someone from my class to another class, I do that sometimes. Usually, because they're going to go to oils or some other thing that I don't necessarily teach. I would say to that teacher, this student is a beginner. This student is an intermediate beginner. This student is emergent. We have all these terms to let the other teacher know the skills and understanding of art that they're coming in with. So if somebody said was an intermediate, I would expect them to have a pretty core understanding of basic painting practices.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I would be looking at if I explain that to another teacher. Thank you for letting me grandstand while I cloud away.
Into the clouds.
Into the clouds.
Now, Lindsay's come a long way with us. She's been
Isn't that the truth, right? Getting a little more blue here.
So
and
many
even
of
get some dots purple into it, maybe.
So many of our community have been here since the dawn of the Sherpa dance.
We have been here for a second and a half, haven't we? On YouTube.
We won't quantify the time. We'll just
look at these little clouds. I'm going to make some these little guys, they kind of puzzle together. You can see that this is almost a glaze, almost a dry brush. What's underneath shows through. That's going to help those clouds feel like little faraway fluffers.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a little more blue in there. Darken them up a bit a couple places. Look at me go. Just working my brush. Coming through here, I know I'm going to have quite a lot of this bank.
I have to remember that I don't need to automatically switch the camera when you go to move and get paint. I'm so almost
doing that again from habit.
It's just programmatic. Like when I see your brush move off the screen, I almost automatically cut
all you got to do
palette.
Is zoom in so they can see it, right?
Well, I can zoom in any old time. Right now, I want to let them see that you're working the space.
This kind of painting is one of my favorite kind of paintings now to do. I love having to. It's real hard to find great references to sunsets, though you guys do share a bunch of beautiful ones with me in group, where the clouds are just not photoshopped and are actually like this.
Art High Five, South Africa.
Art High Five, South Africa. What's going on in South Africa?
I don't know. That's really far away to be watching this today.
Yeah. Shout out your local art store if you have one in South Africa. Where are you getting your art supplies?
That's a good thing to do.
Shout out your local art store in the comments. That's okay. I know I have a no marketing thing, but I don't consider that marketing. That's just consumer information we all need. So it's a little heavier over here. Over here, it's, a little lighter perhaps. In density, not in value, in density. Just working those little weird bits out, man. They're doing some stuff.
You painted this once before.
I did 30 by 40. It's a big boy. I did it live too at NAMTA in front of it. Here's how crazy I am. Across from the Golden Artist Colors booth, where Mark Golden and Chris and all these guys who know the greatest of the greats of the greats, sir, I decided to paint this live just across from them. How much chutzpah does that take? Let me tell you a lot. What it was is like I didn't think about it before it happened. I was like, uh-oh.
You know what was even better? Is when she walked over to borrow some paint from the Golden booth. She was like, hey, I'm out of paint.
I was glazing medium.
It was glazing medium.
It was glazing medium. And they're like, we're really sold out. Like every bottle, because they're like, every bottle here in the booth is accounted for.
They're like,
and has been purchased, the whole booth.
They
and I'm
purchased the booth.
I'm like, oh, you don't have any. And I think it was donated in some weird roundabout way, like some art store or somebody. Somebody gifted me some glazing medium. It showed up
just
at my
showed
thing.
up. It was awesome. They were like, we found some glazing medium. Here you go. Like, thank you.
Don't hit me filling this in. So these are just the puzzles. In skies, right? When you look at the light source, right? The light source is down here and low. That means the top of the clouds above the horizon, they're going to be shaded, and what's closest to the sun is going to be warm and vibrant. That's how we figured this out.
Huh?
You got to figure it out, man. I'm just moving this through. I love the front little low-flying hoofits. Can't wait to get to them. And then it's a wonderful ocean. There's just this reflection in the ocean. There's so much good going on here. It's just so good.
Ooh, by the way, UK folks, Jackson Art has some Sherpa cat's tongues.
Oh, goodness gracious. Get those while you can. Those are not being made anymore. A silver brush. They're still good brushes. Nothing wrong with the brush.
I am super excited about the next stuff, though.
I am too.
We have the
We've gone back to the beginning.
It's strange.
And made old friends.
It's super strange how things have come full circle.
Full circle. Full circle. I cannot wait to be able to tell you guys, because you guys will be so tickled. Definitely tune in when I'm streaming from NAMTA this year.
Oh, yeah.
So there we go. Get to here. That's all you got to do. Get to here.
Ooh.
So these are little, they're light, they're far away. It's a layer. There's many layers. Just.
It's a step?
Yeah, step. I could use my coffee heated. That's how long we've been here.
Well, hold on.
You could leave me with a question and I'll answer questions, or I can just monologue like a villain. And also fresh water. Because I'm a big baby like that. Oh, so they can see other sunsets that they've done? Other sunsets that you've done? Oh my goodness, guys. If you really want to know how to paint waves and water and clouds and skies, last Acrylic April 2021, I said, let me teach you guys all about water and landscape. And we did that, 30 paintings in 30 days. That was pretty fantastic. Now we're coming up on the next Acrylic April. Patrons have kind of figured out what the theme is because they get sneak peeks early and they get to name the paintings and see videos early. But it is secret to the rest of the community until like the 25th, though the materials are not secret, so you can go shopping. We're going to be doing another 30 paintings in 30 days for 2022. And it was such a journey to figure out what I was going to do with you guys and how that was going to be. So excited. Let me give this to you then. So excited to be bringing this year with you. We're in the middle of, wrapping things up. You're going to see stuff kind of going on. I think you're going to be really pleased. If you're looking for a program to change how you paint, to make this kind of stuff seem easy, I'm going to make a video about this, about how painting every day allowed me to even do this here with you guys live like this. Why I can just paint across from the golden booth and just assume it's going to be okay. That wasn't always my truth. I used to be much more private in my studio and my process because, I had a lot of stuff to work out. Now I can just go up to a canvas and be like, yeah, I'm going to do sunset today and I'm going to teach it and it's going to be okay. Daily painting did that. I will show you my first daily painting before we do Acrylic April, and a painting I did to see how much I've grown. And wow, my first daily painting was rough. Okay. All right. It's not too bad. I don't know if the TV's wobbling or I'm wobbling when you walk by. I can't tell. Is it me that's rattling?
When I walk by.
Yeah, that's John walking by. If it looks like we have a little bit of a tremor, as John walking. Don't. You don't need to hop through. Stop, dude. I'm gonna need a Dramamine. We're teaching art here. Would you be serious?
It's like you're such a dude.
Dude. My son is turned into what's that actor's name? Who's like, hey, buddy. The one who's like that.
The tall
Vince,
dude.
Vince Vaughn. Hey, buddy. He'll be on the game. He's like, hey, buddy. We don't gotta go attack that right now, buddy. Come on, buddy. We gotta just chill out here. We can get him later. Tactically, we've got a plan. Buddy. Come over here by me, buddy. You don't need to load that gun.
She's not even kidding.
I'm not. I love to just sit out in his room and listen to him. Get this also. This is my middle child. My middle child takes a briefcase to school. And then somebody tried to take his briefcase. And he caught them. And he was like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? You don't want to be stealing my stuff. I know who you are. I can see you. And the guy's like, I'm really sorry. And we're like, did you do anything about it? He's like, nah. He knows I'm on to him. Let's put up a step and keep going, man.
He's like, there's cameras everywhere.
There's cameras everywhere, and I got to worry about it. My kid's so like, economy of worry. Let's continue on with some more layers. You know, these layers. Right. Now, as we approach the sun, values get warmer. Values are also a little warmer kind of over on this far side. So I think I'm going to come here and get a little bit of my quinacridone magenta. I'm going to take some of that tighten it yellow. Maybe, some dots purple. I know. It's just wild, isn't it? But this color is very distinctive. What I don't want is a wet brush. And I'm going to just kind of paint in some of this misty cloud bank. And wiggling it over on the right hand side. Toe of brush. Eye of newt.
It's a summoning painting.
Of brush.
That would make an awesome new class
of art, wouldn't it? In D&D?
Everything goes back to D&D. So it's like a bard illusionist variation.
For you guys who are coming in going, I don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. D&D is when we mean Dungeons and Dragons. It's an imagination game. We use our imaginations.
Just think about like Harry Potter, but more serious. So
yeah, way more serious.
Way more serious.
Adding a little more blue, because as I get away from here, what happens? These colors cool. On these outer edges, my friends, on these outer edges, the colors become cooler.
Oh, Heather was asking why was the shield up? Oh, that was just because of the painting. She had splatter.
Oh, yeah, sometimes I do. I splatter, and then it's just like, it's on like Dunkin' then, isn't it? Bring a little bit of warmth here to this forward-facing area. Starting to think about it. A little bit of that around here and there. Paint some sky. Rinse out and really dry. If you're using hogs, dry them off with a towel like this.
Yeah.
Yes, Dove. I see gathering for a question while we paint.
Suzanne was asking, are you letting it dry between each layer? We're kind of like in real time, so you can kind of see.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you can see when I'm hair drying. We're totally in real time. It is drying pretty fast. On these bigger ones, you do tend to work with the understanding that things will be getting dry.
Yeah.
They will be getting dry.
So this is really interesting.
Now we're going to come in here with this and kind of pull in another layer.
Okay. Your clouds, your scribbles look like clouds.
Yes.
My scribbles look like clouds from Peanuts.
Well, come on, man. It's hard to scribble, right?
So how come your scribbles look like clouds and my scribbles look like scribbles?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, and I don't mean to be cheeky about this, but practice.
Okay.
Practice, practice, practice. So when you're first learning to be the sky on your brush, look at me wiggling it up and down. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm accepting the messiness. I'm accepting that it's going to have soft edges. I'm making sure that there's little bits of blue that's going to shine through. If I got to put it back if I lose it, right?
Can I make an observation?
Yeah, you can.
You're also really do a good job of avoiding patterns.
I do, man. I'm like, so I don't. I'm going to say it because I used to say it, and I hope it's okay. I try to channel Jackie Chan.
Ah,
I channel Jackie Chan when I paint.
I can only think that I'm being complimented by that. Like,
I would hope so. I do. I try to channel Jackie Chan and like make a regular. He would do these movies and it was like
well,
a regular unexpected
okay.
little non-pattern martial arts style that he had going on.
If you don't know, Jackie Chan actually studies a drunken style of kung fu where as you fight, the whole point is to show misdirection in your attacks and your defense. So your enemy literally just doesn't know what you're going to do because you look like you're drunk. And so it's very hard to strike. You move with the stuff. So there's a really deep thing here that of why this parallel is
How it works, right?
right. So sorry.
No, it's good though, but that's what we're talking about. That's what you're talking about.
And
Getting
also
some in
like
here.
he had a cartoon.
Go ahead and get some CAD red into this, guys.
Toy
What?
line.
I know. And maybe a little Docs purple.
Video games.
CAD red and Docs purple? You must be insane. And yet here I am. CAD red and Docs purple. We've got to really build up this area around what is going to be the sun so that we have something to, kind of dramatize. Look at this. I'm on the toe, belly, toe, angle, and I'm back from the canvas too. This is helping. Man, when I have to paint at the table, I love it. And you'll see me do it for Acrylic April because then we can do all the steps and each step has the materials and it matches the mini book and the resources are so deep and beginner prepared. But like here at the easel, this is the relaxed jam, man.
It's there's something to be said about just sort of taking back and allowing the clouds to tell you where they go.
Well, yeah. And they do. The clouds speak to me. They say, be still. Be okay.
When clouds talk to me, they say, look out below.
It's just going, isn't it? Builds up. Just gets more stunning and more stunning. I'm going to get a little bit of this Docs purple. I'm going to get some of that. Look at this crazy with the Naples yellow and the Docs purple into this mix that we have now.
You're mixing it up.
It's kind of a gray color, right? And every once in a while, I do need to mist my palette.
Yeah.
Because, we're out here for a second. Some of this over here is a little more kind of solid. A little solid bank sort of happening here. Right here. That we're going to want to build out over that's going to be a more solid little bank to think about. What? I'm going to get a lot of ultramarine blue in my messy mix. And look, it just gets grayer. I'm okay with that. Look at that.
Ooh. Ah. Okay, I'll stop.
No, you don't got to stop. You ooh and ah. I want you guys to ooh and ah your own sunsets. You should be feeling like, ooh, ah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Look at that. So let's call that a step, and then I'll show you the next layer. We're going to be going a minute. Like I said, I put everything beginner. This one I was like, advanced class. And this is why, because we're going to be here for a second. But you're going to learn. You're going to see how it's done. For real. How we do.
I love how Demolition Man has predicted the future, and we all now just sing commercials.
Oh, and The Simpsons too. Goodness
They
gracious.
predict the future. Yep. Taco Bell won the food wars.
This is not a real thing that
Fast food
happened. It's a
wars.
reference to a movie called Demolition Man. I just like to add that because we're all different. So
If you don't know,
art
I tell you what.
attracts every generation, right? And so listen, if you're a generation, we say a weird thing and you don't know, just speak up. We don't mind.
If by chance you have not seen Demolition Man and cannot appreciate the three shells, you should go watch it and thank me later.
Is that your theory?
Yep.
I'm going to come over here with a little more quinacridone, magenta, and cad red. I'm letting it mix into the color that I've been working over here like non-stop. And I'm warming this. See how we're warming it?
Do you ever use a stool at the easel?
Not for the show. And, you know, man, my mom, like, even is like, why don't you just use a stool? Right? What a reasonable thing to do. It would be so less hard on your body. But I got a Fitbit. No, I'm just kidding. Trying to close the rings on my standing.
Your Apple Watch cheers for you when you complete the ring.
And on painting days, it's like, you did so good.
Oh, yeah. Marlene, if this will be available immediately afterwards,
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't take it down.
And up forever, ever. And then the mini book will come out 7 to 10 days after, and it will just stay up.
Uh-huh.
This will be, if you were looking for a sunset class, this is the class you're looking for. It is. It is the class you are looking for. Get a little bit here. Or rinse out. Thoroughly rinse out. Man, I haven't even changed a brush. If you're wondering what this good, well-behaved brush is, number 20 Raphael d'Art. And you know what? Jenna Bug, they absolutely put a pronunciation for this up there for me.
I believe it's
forgot.
D'Artigeny.
Jenna knows. Let's just go with Jenna knows. And probably all my mods. All right, I'm going to mist and I'm going to get into some more intense yellows and some more intense colors. Let's get into some of this cad yellow here.
It can't be a Passamaquoddy brush.
And I'm going to get a little of my cad red into it. Oh, it's so nice, right? So got some colors going on.
Thank you for all the stars and for the super chat and the stickers, guys. Thank you so much. I know I've not been able to say thank you so much, but thank you.
Thank you.
On to the orange.
On to the orange. So we're adding some of this orange. This is the cad red. This is the cad yellow. We're just
Orange.
Orange. Now, another good one is I can come in and get a little of my Naples yellow, and my cad red gets me coral. It's crazy coral, so I can come up here. Look at this crazy coral. Coral?
Coral.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite orange?
I like all the oranges.
No. I like the clockwork orange the best.
I know you do. It's ultraviolet. Oh, now I'm going to get dinged by the algorithm. Gosh darn it. Ding!
I mean, how could it? I mean,
just dancing the toe, and I'm just building these little moments up. Let some of this red and deep color shine through. You got to put some back. Put it back. With that, though, there, we just don't even play, right? We're like, yeah. We'll put dark color back where we need it. We'll coral up where we've got it. We know what we've got happening here, and it's big. It's big. It's going to be drama.
it's that's the D'Artigeny number 10.
20.
20.
All right, back into the tight knit yellow and a little cad red up here. Get into that coral. I'll be back in the pinks in a second, but right now we're just
That's a big brush.
building up the layers of this space.
Do your arm sleeves help with your fatigue?
Yes.
Ooh.
They do have some compression. I don't know if they're made for that, but that has been a side effect. They're actually helping with the cold because my knuckles can get cold. And once my knuckles are cold, it's like over for me. Like, I don't want to paint no more. My knuckles are cold.
Now, do you ever do oil paintings?
I do not. I could paint oils. I'm sure it would take a learning curve. My current recommendation for oil painting are two teachers, Chuck Black. Fantastic. Well, there's another guy, Michael. I can't remember his last name, and so I can't shout him out, but I would. Obviously, Kevin Hill and Nancy Medina.
I think it was just that there were some folks that were like, would you do an oil painting for us? We know there are other people. We want you to do it.
Sometimes I don't know if anyone knows there are other people. I just want to make sure if there's a good resource out there, I don't like not shout it out.
Now, I have a question about
And we're just adding more of this coral over here. That's the cad red and then Naples yellow light. Look at this buildup. Isn't it wonderful?
Did you happen to add those little handy things to your Amazon store?
Yeah, they should be there.
Okay, how do they find that? Because Kim was like, I can't find those things and I want to get them.
They should be under extra stuff for your studio, like all the extras. And you just got to open up the little sub stores.
Oh, so
there's sub stores. There's the main store, right? But those little categories where it's like acrylic, you got to open up those sub stores to get into the sub. So I have like a bunch of curated lists. Beginner acrylic painting course, got a list specifically for that with the materials. Acrylic April, got a store with the materials. My basic colors and professional paints, my choices like brands, everything, list, materials, brushes, same, everything broken down, including purses and shoes I like.
The cool thing about this is you don't have to buy from Amazon. You can just use that list as a reference.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to find.
But if you're looking for these are sometimes called arm warmers with fingerless arm warmers or sunscreen guards.
Human appendage heat envelopes.
Human appendage heat envelopes would be another very good version of that. I'm going to take a bit of my yellow and white. Come up here through this pink. Coming through the pink. I want to make sure that there's these pops of fire. Fire, fire, fire. Get a little water on there. Little glazing, little hazing, little glazing, a little bit whiter over on this side. Tapping that in. Right here, just kind of thinking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Centered on the canvas a bit. Centered on the canvas, that focal point. That's what we got to do. Touch a little bit through here. Kind of piece it in like a puzzle. See how I'm piecing it in like a puzzle? That's how we get here.
How interesting.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Interesting. What movie is that from again?
I don't know.
That's from a movie.
Probably lots of people have said how interesting with an
No. There's like one we all know. All right. So let's call that a step. I'm going to come back and do another layer. So I'm breaking it down. You've got a chance of getting through here. You could just go step. You could just do a step a day. And you could get to the bottom of this. What?
Maybe young Einstein?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Not Sheldon Cooper. I'm rewatching Big Bang and Young Sheldon right now.
Boy, 7'd up.
All right, are we there?
We're there.
Rinse out again. Rinse it out. Okay, so now I'm going to come into my quinacridone magenta. I'm going to get maybe a little of my Naples light on it, and then maybe a little of my cad yellow. We're going to start coming up here.
Ooh.
And we're going to start finding little moments in these clouds to highlight with that pink. And pink? It's pink layer 1. This is what I love quinacridone magenta for. And this is very important to this sky, in my opinion. I think you'll find it is too. I knew this was going to be a fun day.
It is a fun one.
I love doing this stuff. This is like, I love doing this.
Yes, Amethyst, I do.
Hmm?
Amethyst was asking, do I know the movie Lawnmower Man?
Yeah.
Very familiar.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good cautionary tale.
Back in the 90s when we were telling the story of VR.
And you know, our fear of science was, well,
Palpable.
I
mean, as per the Terminator movies, the RoboCop movies.
Oh my goodness.
Red Dawn.
We had some feelings about the future, didn't we?
Top Gun.
Don't want to say we were wrong, because we weren't.
War Games.
Feelings. Well, and I mean, look at Matrix. We had some concerns. So sometimes get a little yellow and white, and you can see I'm just, what I'm basically doing is I'm coming here and I'm adding some wah to the clouds. Now I'm coming here and saying I want some more kind of solid work there.
Yeah.
This is some work, man. You're working. Quinacridone magenta. I'm using a little bit of my cad yellow. I'm using a little bit of my titanate yellow and a little white sometimes. I'm just making this sort of like great color. Sometimes you gotta look and you'll be like, oh, I see lots of little moments here. How you guys doing? Pay attention. It's a long painting, so pay attention to how you're feeling. Oh, thank you for warming my coffee up. You were psychically aware that I was about to ask for this again, weren't you? Sometimes he just knows. It's fun just to get in here, you know? Just to get in there and go for it. Now, sometimes I'll be in here. I'm going to rinse out. And I'm going to get a little bit of my kind of background cloud, dark sky cloud. Oh, ugh. I got right in the phthalo blue. Oh, that's really good. Let me finish this little segment up and then I'm going to come back in. I'm going to come in and make sure that these seem defined.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll do that, come back and be like, do we need some more? Do we need some more? And sometimes my eye will say, oh yeah, definitely some more. Other times I go, no, you don't need no more.
Oh, look, there's Raheel
Hey, Raheel.
from all on the other side of the planet.
All right. Oh, that's looking good. Let's sip some coffee.
You
Do
should
we have
sip some
any
coffee.
questions while I'm taking this? I'm not changing steps. I'm just going to have a little moment. And whenever I'm going to take a moment away, I either cover my palette or missed it. That's okay. My surface is drying, and we're getting there. Isn't this just shocking how good it is?
Sherry says she wants to scribble like you when she grows up.
It feels pretty good, Sherry. It's a good scribble. It scratches that place in my soul that needs that scribble.
Amy says that tail you were that tail, the brush you were using looks like it has a bunny tail. What's that one called?
This one is the Raphael d'Artigny.
D'Artigny, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good brush. It's a good brush.
Is
I'm liking it. It's a good brush. You know, I use a lot of good brushes. It's a good brush.
If
it's a good brush.
Gio was curious, do you think this would work with Liquitex Basics?
Yes. Now, so here's the thing to understand about basics, and a good teacher to go observe is Lockery. Lockery loves to use basics. And that's because she leans into that it's transparent, that it's a glaze, right? So as long as you understand, I've got coverage here for days, which means I put a color over a color and they really resonate together. You may find that you have to build layers. That transparency just asks a little more of you in a different way. But remember, it has great brushability.
Huh.
Right? You know, and you've got to watch the binding. Sometimes Liquitex Basics struggles to bind. I want to come get attacked by the company. But it's the true. I don't know. It's the true. I have a group of 50,000 people. They tell me how it's going, and that's the thing that comes up. You got to be careful with the water on Liquitex Basics because it can struggle to bind.
Interesting.
You know, every paint, it has its personality. You just figure out what you got going on with it and then, you know, lean into it.
So
I'm going to add a little more yellow into this.
Okay. What was her name?
I can answer another one.
No, I'm trying to think of the lady's name because I remember. So, very interesting came from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. And there was a character skit played by, and I can't remember her name.
Oh. Goldie Hawn?
No, it's the brunette lady. She's really tall, super funny. Gosh, as soon as I remember her name,
it'll come to you.
I'm actually gonna go see. I'm gonna go scroll through the people in the cast because it wasn't Goldie Hawn. It was
adding a little white to it. A little bit on my toe here. See, guys, I'm just dancing it along. Just work it on your toe.
Let's see if the chat has screamed it out yet.
I love when you guys like get it. You're like, it's this. You got it. It's this. So little yellow, more and white added into that previous quinacridone mix.
Lily Tomlin.
Oh, love me some Lily Tomlin. That is a funny lady.
Somebody says Joanne Horley, but I thought it was Lily Tomlin who did it.
Ah, Joanne Horley, also funny lady. And I think they're right. I think it was Joanne.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I thought I thought I remembered Lily Tomlin having the headset on, listening as an operator. But there may have been. So you know what?
Adding a little highlight to these underclouds. That's what we're doing. We're telling them to be like, hey. Maybe a little Naples yellow and oh, there we go. See, it's very light but still very pink, right? Build it up. On the bottom of those little clouds, they're just starting to shine, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Come on the inside of this little space here. Hmm.
Everybody remembers so vividly this stuff. They're like, they're quoting stuff from the show.
You're like, I'm there, I'm there, I'm
there.
mentally there.
Lily was really funny.
Yeah.
So
Had some wonderful people in the world. Just who brought a lot of joy. Comedians are tough. Like, I love watching comedy with the kids, but have you ever been in a comedian and, like, it starts out as PG, it's PG, 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 then goes off an off-ramp into blue.
And then there was
And then you got to answer those uncomfortable questions, and you're like, what? And they don't rate comedy shows all the time.
Then the other very interesting came from our church lady.
Mm-hmm. I remember Dana Carvey. I love Saturday Night Live. I need to laugh, you know? Sometimes I just need to laugh. Pressing in. And you can see sometimes that gets into some yellow, which is very interesting. And it presses out some color into that space and warms it up. That's what you're doing. You're like, I'm getting there. I know where I am, and I'm getting there. Now I'm going to come back. I'm going to rinse out. And I'm going to get some Cad Red and some Docs Purple together. I'm going to make sure that there's some dark value happening here. See how dark that is?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have contrast. I'm on the toe of the brush. So just like I'm painting, these wonderful highlights in, I've got to make sure I don't lose these dark, dark values. This is how we paint. Now you guys are going to be like, oh, when she says advance, we should watch out. She means a minute. I think we even have a break planned for the show. We're like, ah.
Now, for all the ladies who have not heard of Lily Tomlin, we're again very happy to introduce you to this wonderful actress and comedian who is a legend in the industry and shaped much of the comedy that you will have seen. So go check her out.
But, comedy is like super subjective, right? Like,
No, she's objectively funny.
No, they're all objectively funny. Like, Martin Short's objectively funny, but not everybody likes it. Chevy Chase, objectively funny, but not everybody likes it.
If you don't like Chevy Chase, I would question, Martin Short, fantastic.
Steve Martin.
Why the long face, Steve?
His master class was amazing. See how we just put that drama back in that sunset? Don't forget your drama. Don't forget your drama. You may not want it in your life. You may not want... Oh, no. Everybody guess what time it is.
I do not know.
It is TWIX's lonely time.
Oh. She came to get all the furs on you.
That you just brushed off before the show. Oh, I guess you too. Please don't eat poops. Gotta watch her. She's a poop eater. She's just trying to say I love you. We've decided that her love bucket has a whole limit.
Oh, yeah. She's like immediately after you stop petting her, the love is gone from the bucket and she must refill it. And she will look up at you longingly with the empty bucket.
We're going to be here for a minute. If I don't pet the dog, we can't do the show. She and Shortcake have become friends now. Doesn't sound like friendship, but it is. And John is bass.
It's true. As long
Which
as one
is fantastic.
of them, they have to be touching me to play.
You feeling better? Everything's okay.
She's a hairy dog, not a furry dog.
There you go, Pumpkin. Oh, now she's giving the looks.
The looks.
The looks.
The sneezes will come next.
Oh, the sneezes will come
she
next.
came to see me.
Oh, good. Then we're okay. So let's start putting a little more kind of woo.
Same step.
Same step.
Same step.
Just interrupted by dog. Let's get in some bright orange going, okay?
An interdoggle step.
Get some bright orange going.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and check out. I'm gonna go rewatch some Laugh In because there's so many comments in here that are saying, "Gotta remember this and this and this and this," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch it."
I've been watching the Graham Norton show, like the little clips of it,
Oh,
like where they just curate all the funny moments. Where I'm like, yeah, I just like short watch it. There we go. See how we're adding that little bright orange? It's just a busy bit of business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to do. The trick is to try to keep the dark shadows going in there. That's the fight. My brain just keeps wandering as I paint. Like my next one was like, where do you think Lucy Lawless is right now? It's just when my brain is painting, it's such a weird brain.
I wonder if she still does the like fandom circuits.
Oh gosh, she's got to, right?
That'd be pretty
How
cool.
could you not? You would need to. If you didn't, what are people supposed to do? Rinsing out thoroughly. Take a little of my just quinacridone. Get a real light value here. And there we go. Add a little bit of that tight knit yellow to it. I like that. Now we're just catching those little moments. We highlight them. Just playing. Kind of rotating that around the arc. I'm staying out of the way, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I have cameras that I can switch between.
But I just want to make sure that they're seeing everything well.
I think so. I can see it.
It's an involved class, so I want them to be able to see so they can do. This would be a great time lapse. Are we recording?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I'll put up a time lapse of it so you can just watch it in a second. There we go. Just saying, oh, hey. A little bit of pink just going off that edge. Did you guys see that happen?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do a little bit of pink over this blue off the edge. It's so drama.
Total drama sky.
Total drama sky. That's what we want sometimes, right? Come on, see me. A little more yellow into it. Love it. It's going well. How long have we been at this step? A minute?
A minute.
All right, we can make another step. Again, because I
make
want
a
you
step.
guys to do a step and kind of rest, and then do a step and kind of rest, because it's a lot. It's it's a lot to take in. We haven't even gotten to low little fluffers. I did this live on NAMTA. 2 days painting this whole crazy. But I'm doing it again. All right, let's add, oh, we're going to get into our brighter yellows now. I'm going to get a little more yellow. It's got a little of the cad red to it.
And what brand paint are you using there?
I am using a mix of Sennelier Acrylic.
They were asking what you're using.
Right, the Acrylic. The quinacridone magenta I like is in the golden line. I have some Artist Loft level 3, not 1, 3. That is what is on my palette today. Don't you love that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come here and I just find little moments where the sun can catch something. And then it just kind of, it illuminates it. Are you illuminated? I am now. Just playing with the cad red, cad yellow. Toe of the brush. It's messy, messy brush toe. It's messy. Looking at it. See it start to shine? I'm coming along here in these more wispy, illuminated bits. Little wispier. Pushing it much more yellow here. Rinse out. I'm going to go a little yellow and a smidge of titanium white.
Oh, those are the highlights on
Yeah,
them.
got to get them highlights. The sun absolutely lights up the sky. This is making me think of Kepler 22b. Sunset on Kepler 22b. If that were true, I'd put a little necromancer up here. Honestly, I'm not saying that would never happen.
So, for the rest of us, what are you talking about?
This is the new HBO. Well, it's not new. It's second season of HBO Max's Raised by Wolves, which I'm very, very sucked into. If you like sci-fi,
It's
you
a
might
show
like it.
about religious robots.
They're not. No, the robots are not. No,
Something.
you shouldn't review anything. You don't even watch enough TV to review.
There were these acid creatures.
Don't. Spoilers. Don't listen. No spoiling.
I'm not spoiling.
It's
I'm
a
just saying
serious series. No.
there's all sorts of
It's by
creepy
Ridley
stuff.
Scott. If you liked other alien movies and things like that, it's really good. I liked it very much. I love it. I don't want to even ruin anything for you. I never even look at information until after I see an episode. I love how Luna though watches watches pre-approved segments of it and has so many opinions. Like has tied it into everyday life. She's like, robots are never the bad guys. Humans made them, so it's their fault. And continue to, see how we're creating that yellow right there in the center.
Yeah.
I mean, look at us go. Are we not just like, what? Touching it. I look back here sometimes too. I do. I look back here sometimes and I go, what is it? What is it? What is it? A little more weight into it.
I think I need to turn the fireplace up. It's cold out today. Cold out today.
It really is cold out today. Where we are. If you didn't know, yes, we did move a while ago at the beginning of the pandemic, actually. Really fun time to move.
Today we are approaching a foot of snow, I think.
Yeah.
Many inches of it all at once.
I'm just tasting like the little bits of the bottoms of the clouds. Yeah, I don't dislike it. I gotta tell you honestly, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slightly kind of wiggling along there. Some places make exaggerations of the world as we can. All right, man, I'm going to call that a step.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And then, yes, I am now going to dry. I'm going to mist my paint and dry my canvas. Look at our sky go.
It's a step in the right direction.
How are you guys doing at home? Let's take care of your bodies. Make sure your positioning is good. You're not wearing yourself out. Deep breaths. Long paintings can be a journey, right? So remember, it's not the end until the end of the painting. You've got to get the layers on. You don't know where your painting's at right now. You might think you know if you're doing good or not. You don't. It's too early in the painting to know. Too early to know. You got to just finish all the layers.
No, your sky was definitely inspired by this sky, but it's not the same sky.
How do you mean?
Well,
That's not like a...
It's like it's like the clouds aren't perfectly like the clouds in the reference.
No. Was someone concerned that they're not perfectly the same
clouds?
I
mean, it's just like, I think it's okay for people to know that your clouds are going to be a little different.
Yeah. No, every set of clouds, we're not, we use reference photos to inspire us, not to
contain
us. So, how would it light up? How do I want it? How do I want, different parts of that? You can definitely, you mess with it and you mess with it and you mess with it until you're happy with it. Is what you do.
Inspiration, not limitation.
I like that. Inspiration, not limitation. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
I think that came from Reverend Talley.
I think it did too. But you know what? It's okay. I'm taking a little bit of my Dox purple and my quinacridone. I might even get my cad red in this mess. So I had Dox purple, quinacridone magenta, a little tight knit yellow, and a little cad red. And start these sort of interesting, even darker than this, man. They need to be dark. I'm gonna be just on the toe of my brush. This is a bit of fussiness.
Right. I'm gonna leave over your shoulder so I can start some water and such. You're okay.
For coffee?
Where you're standing. Yeah.
Little fluffer out here. Just spend some time with this. Don't. really look at the shapes, you know. It's true that on the bottom they tend to be a little bit kind of flat, and I'll just go kind of back and forth very lightly with my brush. I might even need to dip in water just a smidge. Just a smidge. Left shoulder. And so we're just trying to create these little forward clouds. Sometimes a little tip in water just to make sure it flows off nicely. Just paint that. Little banks of low clouds. Both sides of the surface. Now we might come in on these when we go over them. We will warm them up. We're going to lay them in with this color now, and then as we come through this place, right, we'll change those values, those hues, but right now we just got to get it in. You start some water? Thank you. Yeah, I'm okay. It is, isn't it? It's exactly. I love it when I deliver on my painting promises. We're here painting today to find the peace in our lives when the world will give us no peace. You can go ahead and put little distant, further away little floaters. Sometimes distant little floaters happen, right? They're just they're a little further away on the horizon, maybe. Little glaze over here, just sort of back and forth, just not nothing serious. Just kind of pulling that in there, right? Now in the center, I'm going to get a little bit of my cad red a bit. Quite a bit of my cad red, as you do. And perhaps kind of put a little bit forward red. Some little parts of these clouds. Just using a little brush, just catching forwards of the clouds, just trying to heat them up, warm them up on one side. Warm them up on one side. And over here, I might like just go ahead and get in the previous mix and a little pinker over here. You just want to look at them and be like, you know, I'm happy with their shape. Now, this is a pretty big brush, but I can still probably do this as long as these little outer filaments don't, sorry. This is a pretty big brush, but I can still do this as long as these outer filaments don't get out of hand. Come over here to the ultramarine blue, and I'm going to add some white to this mix. It certainly causes less cramping on the hand. Huh? Oh, people are asking if I find it easier to paint with a larger handle, and what I'll say is it does keep from, you know, your hand maybe being a little crampy. Put a little blue over there. I would absolutely send it back in even if it has Art Sherpa on it. You send it back. You don't put up with that nonsense. It's nonsense, my friends. You know, if you bought a blender and the blade inside was rattling around, you'd take that back. Take it back. So just bluing that up a bit. Now here in the center, I have a little bit of the cad red and purple, and I'll go ahead and get a bunch of that Naples yellow. That nickel titanate yellow, just kind of warm that in on here in the center, even if I have to go into the cad yellow. No, that's looking lovely, isn't it? We're just getting it going. Just warming it in here. We're adding yellows in there, right? Rinse out a bit. I might come back with my brush and kind of lift some of this out. That's a damp brush, and I just lift that out. And let's get a little bit of our yellow, white. I'm gonna come here and make sure we've got a little space in here that's much brighter through here. Add a little white right here. Just maybe a little bit of radial light. So I did that just gentle. Come back with a little bit of white. In the center. See how we look? See? I'm kind of a happy camper here, guys. My goodness, am I ready for another cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Oh.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. So now, ocean, beach, all that nonsense is ready to do that. Yeah, new step.
Okay. I want to make
new steps, man.
I don't want to step into it before
I'd like to say that it's a downhill journey from here, but I'd be lying.
It's a beach landing.
It's a beach landing. It really is. We're going to be here for a second. Take a deep breath and know that it takes a little time, you know, to get there, and that's okay. And you've got this. You've got this, no problem. Now, I can do a lot here to make sure that My ocean line is great. I am going to take a bright brush. This is a Raphael Textura, and I'm going to get a little maybe just yellow on it, and it's going to be almost kind of a glaze. And I'm going to come here and just make sure that this is a little bit past our waterline, right? So that when I need to come back and tape it off, I think I need to get some tape, some painter's tape. Just a little white and yellow. I'm just taking this and making sure this is below the line. I know where the line is. I just need it to be there. And I need this to be really dry. So I'm going to dry this with a hairdryer, and then John's going to grab me that tape that's on my table.
Yeah, I can do that.
And I'm going to tape off a horizon line. Wow, I just...
There she goes. And yeah, taping is a totally reasonable way of handling the horizon lines. I've got a roll of tape that I just grabbed for her. I'm going to walk it over here. I have a short leash, but it's long enough. But see, I can get closer to her. You can get some ASMR hairdryer action. But if you've had all the hairdryer action you could take, we're done anyway.
Woo! I got some tape.
Tape it up.
Make sure it's cool. You want to make sure that the surface is cool and completely dry before you use tape. I do have a horizon line. Hopefully I did a good job. We'll find out in a second. On water, a level horizon is your friend. An off-angle horizon makes it look like the ocean is pouring out somewhere.
It will upset all the boat people. And it'll make everyone come by and adjust your painting
so much
because they'll level the water line and not the painting. Oops. Which is almost like comedic in itself.
In and of itself.
I would intentionally paint all of my water lines just little cattywampus so I could hang all of them a little cattywamp, but I keep the ocean level, but all the paintings.
Now I'm gonna check it.
You're like, I'm just ignoring you. I'll go get coffee while you talk to them.
Using a T-square to check my line. Check from the other side. Dead on. That's what it takes. I'm going to burnish. It means I'm going to rub it with my fingers. Rub it with my fingers. Fingers, fingers, fingers. Missed my palette so it keeps painting nicely for me because I'm using a lot of paint and I'm going to need all the rest of this paint. All right. Da, 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 da. So we're going to come in and paint this ocean. And then we're going to catch the beach. There's no reason. Oh, goodness gracious. Coffee break. Coffee break, coffee break, coffee break, coffee break. I just have creamer. But I need. Do you want to pour this little bit out? Now, I love this cup. I just need. Okay. Coffee break. We've taped the line and we're doing a coffee break. And that's okay. Fingers crossed on the line. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Oh, these come with socks, by the way. If you find these on Amazon, they come with also pairs of socks, which I give the kids because I just need the gloves. Oh man, even the sound of that. Listen to that pour. You love the sound of that. Oh, that's just a nice sound. It just goes in the cup, and I know everything's gonna be okay. Feeling the kind of way. And I will stir it with my brushes. And then I'll go ahead and pour my... You did? All right, pour my creamer in over here. Let's get that nice and poured in there because you know you love it. You know you love it when the creamer goes in the coffee, right? I have to sip? Not quite. I'm not paid by any of these companies. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Mmm. Mmm. So the first time I painted this, I for sure did it in front of like people I admired and really wanted me to think well of me and all of that. Maybe that's even why I picked it, because I was like, watch me paint this amazing scene. And and then I got there. It took on the 30 by 40, it took me 2 days. It did take me a solid 2 days to get there. And then the girl I really added the rest of the way after in a whole nother day of painting. Today we're only doing the beach. I expect to take less time on it today because it's 16 by 20. I painted it before and, not under so much pressure. I'm going to take a number 12 filbert bigger brush. Why am I picking a bigger brush? I pick a bigger brush and I'm going to take a little bit of my phthalo green over to my Doc's purple. If you'll remember, it makes a blue. And I'm going to pray that this did the right thing under my tape. So what I'm going to do is I've set that line in, dry it.
Quick dry, make sure it's... And I think that you have to thoroughly do this, otherwise, so that way the next layer does the right thing. So, yay, thank you guys for painting along with us. We love seeing you. Don't forget to tickle the... Oh, she's peeling. Tickle the subscribe button and poke the like button and do all the things.
It's level, but I have a little bit of lifting under the tape. That was a failure of the burnishing and the fact that I put out my paint a little wet.
Oh.
So that's how that happened. Not uncommon. It's a thing. We're just, okay, so we're going to get it real clean water. And I'm going to come here with a little bit of my white and yellow again. And clean it up. I don't need distant ships. If it gets real bad, you can always do distant ships. Where it's down too low, I'll have to push that up. I'm going to come back with my purple. To the best of my ability, follow a level line. It's a journey. Now, in the center, I'm going to do a little of my Doc's and Cad Red. So it's the cool and the cool and the warm in the middle. And it is that important. Gonna add a little water. I'm gonna come down here. Back and forth, level lines at first with this red. I go forward, I might get a little more orange. Can even get into my tiny yellow. If I need to, I mist my canvas.
What does that do?
That will, if my canvas is kind of dry and fighting back, it'll let me get a longer brushability on my paint. See? Coming forward.
It makes it so you can smear it out further.
Makes it so you can smear it out further.
I mean, I'm sure there's a more technical way of saying that.
There probably is, but you know, what you're saying works. Add a little more yellow and red as I come down. Not lean into that area. And again, this is ready layer 1, right? Oh, darn it. Oh no.
Did you?
Yeah, I need the splatter guard.
You shield down. Shields down, Captain.
Got Mr. Cow. And that's how we fix that. Yeah. I fixed it, don't worry. Don't panic, I got it.
Psst.
Yeah?
Oh, it's my headset going psst.
Oh.
Sometimes makes little
dark edges.
I sound like a stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper. Come in here. I'm just getting some paint on the canvas, guys. Like sometimes you just got to get some on. And I'm getting kind of cool colors to the outside edge and warm colors to the middle. If I have to touch anything up, then I just do. Sometimes you just need a color on the canvas.
So Rachel would like to know, how do you stop the yellow on top of the blue from turning green?
In this area. Would be the quality of the yellow and the white. So if you're having a lot of trouble with your yellow, yellow could be a good thing to upgrade. If you're getting really bad green from the transparency, you can paint those areas white where you know you need the yellow to pop and then glaze over the top of it.
Interesting.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm going to take a little of my purple and tighten it yellow and burnt sienna. I'm going to make kind of this crazy putty color. And that is going to be the beach. Starting. Again, we just need some color here, guys. And I am just scumbling practically, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to reset my shoreline. I know where it is. I'm just making sure I've got nice coverage on the surface.
Nice coverage.
Brush through. So this is kind of a beginning space, right? Maybe a little blue on this outer edge. A little blue on the outer edge. All right. And let's get a lot more white onto my brush. Even over here. I'll come back. Look at that. A lot more white. I feel like that's some nice coverage. I'm going to dry this thoroughly, and then I'm going to lay my next layer of ocean in. But basically what I've got is my water divided up here where I know it is. It's warm down the center. I am going to be carrying it warm through here, but we'll get to that later. I've got a little bit of my beach. My beach was Doc's purple, a little of the light yellow, that tight knit yellow, a little burnt sienna. And then later I got a little ultramarine blue and white in it. I got with those mixes, right, to get that sort of creaminess. Where it's closer to the shore, I want it to be a little bit lighter. It's going to be a little cooler blue here. You know, working a little red into our ocean mix. Remember, the blue is Doc's purple and phthalo green.
That's great. Veronica was just asking about that on Facebook.
Yeah. And I've got a whole video on how to use those two colors to paint things blue.
Cool.
You can do primary colors with secondary colors through this weird thing. I got a little playlist on it. The clients want to share it. Sip our coffee. We have questions or anything? Or dry?
Oh, you think you just answered? What colors are you using for the beach? And do you glaze your finished paintings?
Do I varnish? Sometimes, if I have a lot of different ununiform finishes, like some is like shiny and some is very matte, I might varnish if I want it to be matte. If I need to photograph it, I have to varnish matte. If I want to photograph my painting, or not varnish at all. If I want it to look luminous, I will then varnish with a clear gloss varnish.
Nice.
I'm loving it. Okay.
So, thoroughly dry there. Check in the link in the description down below for all the reference materials and links to stuff that we're hiding, like mini books and calendars. It's all down there below the fold. Uh-oh, there's a little light flicker there. We're in a big storm. Believe it or not, it's like inches approaching a foot of snow outside. It's been going all day, like crazy. I need like a snow cam so I could like show you with it. But you just go to the weather, like snow. Once you've seen it, it's very unremarkable. It falls from the sky and piles up and makes white stuff you have to shovel out of the way.
That's true.
So it's sort of unremarkable after you've seen it once or twice.
What's unremarkable?
Piles of snow.
Piles of snow. I really love them though, but I'm not shoveling them. John is. So
I have a machine that does it. It goes.
You're still out there though in the snowsuit while I'm inside with the coffee, waving at you like a crazy person from the window.
I know, but I'm not like shoveling. The machine does the work. I just walk around behind it.
I'm adding a few colors. This is I'll tell you what I'm putting out so you can kind of see it go out again, and then I feel okay about the green I have. I definitely am going to want some more white. Got my brushes here. They're kind of in the way. I want to put them over here for a second, and I'll grab them later. Let's put out some more white a couple places on the canvas just so we have some fresh white, a few places to get into. I do think we could use a little more. Yeah, we could use some more cad yellow and cad red. I'm going to use up the tight knit yellow, though, before I put any more out. Today's brand is the Acrylics Light Naples Yellow, which is the same It's the hue of the tight knit yellow. Pretty cool. You guys ready? We got more to do. Did we step? Step it up. You've got this. You can do this. You can do this. I bet there are 5 things in your life you've done that are so much harder than this that you're just not even stopping to think about. Like, I got through that. Like, sometimes when it's real hard, I think, I had my babies at home. I should probably be able to do this. I'm not recommending a birth plan for any mother out there, by the way. That was just what was right for me. And also, if you had kids at home, you wouldn't really kind of put that on another mother because you're like, oh, I had some prairie woman reality in my life.
Yeah, Canadian doctors are like, what? You want what?
They were like, no. Actually, but they let me do a non-medically induced, non-medically. Okay, it was just at the hospital natural, but the first 2 were at my house with cellophane. So, and older. So for all your older moms up there, I had my first one when I was 34. So you can do it. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Over here, I love this over here because there's all these crazy, beautiful colors. And so the first one I'm going to get into is I'm going to take my phthalo green and my phthalo blue. Kind of dark at first. I'm still going to use my filbert for a little while. And I'm going to begin to kind of brush this through here. Then I'm going to go into my white. I'm going to work that through. Look at that. Just pick up those colors. Isn't that amazing? And then, interestingly enough, you can get some of your orange into it, and then it kind of like, look at that. It turns for the peach and stuff that's coming down. I really like this canvas. Art Alternatives. I bought a bunch of them to see, and I'm liking them.
I like that teal in the ocean.
Yeah, it's just fun. I'm going to get a little bit of my magenta and my ultramarine blue. This ocean is going to be so colorful, your brain's going to be like, so happy. Now over here, I'm going to come over here and kind of get more of that color that I just did over here. I might pick up a little of my turquoise, but with my brush dirty. See how we're doing that with the brush dirty? Dirty brush. He's so dirty. Am I in the way? Okay. Gotta be there. Let's get a little white on there. Come in from this little edge here. What's sharp? Oh. Now I'm sorry I didn't do this bigger. I need to do a 4860 of this. That'll make me feel like I'm at the ocean. Ooh, or like a 10-foot painting. That would also be super fun. Trying to get this going here. A little bit of that white. Just along that little shore edge. Look at us just painting in a shore like it's nothing. Because we can do it. Oh, yeah, that does have a nice view. I don't know if they can see it up close, but that is a very good view. I'm just on the toe of the brush making this sort of little edge a little rougher. Not like, you know, sea storm, just like two little waves came rushing to the shore. It's actually from my mom's poem, but you'll have to get her to recite the whole thing. One with a whisper, the other with a roar. Kind of. See, the canvas is still a little bit wet, and so when I come in here with the white, it's blending on that surface, isn't it? Man, did this...
It really is good.
Man!
What?
I'm just so... I'm pleased with myself.
Oh, you should be. I thought you were upset about something. I was like, what is wrong?
Nothing is wrong. Nothing in the world is wrong.
It's a good paint.
Look at it from here.
Coffee and a painting.
Coffee and painting on a Saturday. I just hit you with one this weekend because I figured you'd be at it over the weekend.
It's a doozy.
Did our Sherpa stay with us?
Oh, yeah.
Really? You guys
They're still
are
Sherpa.
Yes. Did you guys like the text? For those of you that got the text message with the picture, I can't do those very often because they cost 3 texts. I had to pay 3 texts to send one with a picture. Otherwise, all your texts would have pictures. I'd be like, this is what we're doing. Ta-da! But it only let me do this one. Is that what got you to come? I don't know. You have to let us know. All right. Oh, wait. No, I want one more sip.
One more sip. That's okay.
How you guys doing at home?
Good. They're just talking about paint and stuff. It's like, paint can be pricey.
Dude, yeah.
And
costs are going up all over, right?
Yeah. And it's sort of it's a relative luxury expense.
So here's the deal. Working on a kit.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
For real. It's not necessarily an acrylic April kit, but it would work for acrylic April. It is the Sherpa kit. Like, it's all the stuff that I use in a kit. In one, like, would you be interested in all the stuff, and it's in stock, that I use? I mean, like T-squares, and I mean, like, the stuff, the brushes, the paints, the everything, hand-selected by me, fresh and little, in a kit.
So
one and done.
And I'm also curious, like, how many folks are like, who's the TJ Maxx shoppers? Like, where are the people who are the deal getters? Because we might be able to do a
we're going to also start working on finding art supplies at discount and providing them.
So where we can
pass new partnerships. It's going to be kind of awesome. There's going to be some deals. You know how I'm always like, look for the clearance line? I'm going to have some clearance line stuff available to you. And then if there's those of you who are like, look, I yes, budgets are tight, but if I could just find the reasonable everything that you use in one box, I'd like that. Let me know if you'd be interested in that too, because I think it's something we can do. So for realsies.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Is this a step?
Yeah, let's call it a step.
I think we're at a place where you can say,
I think it's a good place for a step. It's a good place for a step.
So it's Ocean's 11 step.
I'm going to take a little bit of my CAD yellow and my CAD red together. Like you do.
Would you say this is an advanced class?
Oh, yeah, this is definitely advanced. And come over from the side. We're going to have to, obviously chill this out a bit, but it's a start.
Yeah.
Coming along this, you're like, did you just put an orange stripe in front of your wave? Yeah, I did, sweetie. I did.
Just wait for it.
Yeah.
There is a unanimous yes. I would like a kit.
Just be done.
Thank you, please.
Added a little bit of quinacridone in there to start.
Dog, stop it.
Is she like?
She's
like, my love bucket is so empty, Dad. My love bucket.
Yeah, right next to her empty pizza bucket.
Okay, so we have the orange stripe, right? That's going to be the reflection. It is a lot, I know. I'm going to come over here, though, and take that orange into that little bit of, let's bring it even over here. Let's get some purple into that and some white. And we'll start to blend that a little bit.
Jen says, all the deals for me, please.
Yeah, deals are important. And then also, I think how we think about our art supplies is also kind of like, sometimes we don't prioritize the expenses of like what we care, what cares for us. Like we're like, okay, I'll get that game station, but I won't necessarily treat the art supplies. Sometimes there's a little bit of life balance there too, to find yourself in your own priority set.
Well,
let's come down the center here.
It's hard to prioritize spending money on a consumable, but it's one of those things where, like, especially if you're a gamer, you'll understand from a crafting perspective, you can't make higher level higher level items unless you use higher level raw materials.
It's super true. I'm taking my quinacridone magenta, my cad red over here to the orange I mixed earlier.
And those tubes full of paint in your drawers are unearned experience points.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Because an empty tube is earned experience points.
That's right. Empty tube is earned experience points. And sometimes it's like, I let my teenager live points. You know, teenagers are a blessing. Like, my teenager keeps me up on it. They keep me aware of the new reality of things, the new words, the new terminology. You know, so it's helpful, especially being online and being on TikTok, because you need to know that stuff there. Right? But there are times when I'm like, oh, you're know-it-all pants. I'm just adding a little yellow sometimes to this as I come forward. Glaze a bit. I don't know why I like to stand like I'm a superhero while I'm painting. I'm like, I'm a superhero.
Dun, dun,
Watch
dun.
me. Watch me be a superhero. And bring this kind of like in little strokes out.
Sherry has unlocked the skill of being able to purchase art supplies for herself.
That is a very important skill, and you deserve that skill.
You should. It's an important thing to know how to do.
Just a little bit of this kind of like more orange through here. So we're creating a little band of sunlight, if you guys kind of caught on to it.
They've all said, we would like a reasonable deal art box, please.
Oh, well. The hard thing about reasonable deal art box is everybody's reasonable deal is sort of different, right? Like, my whole thing is like 30 to 40% off list to me is a reasonable deal. Because you can't but find that twice a year.
And that's in product that is currently being made, that is from a reoccurring manufacturer, that's a good product that we can stand behind, that you see us on the show, that we use.
Right? But sometimes, just sometimes, I'm about to be the Stephen Colbert monologue. Sometimes I wish I could do that. You know, where I have like that wordsmithing that just delivers to you like some sort of Shakespearean laugh.
Some days we like to go down to the garage sale and buy the last boxes of brushes from the, from the hucksters that are selling them off, and we bring them back to you and unpack them for cheap sales on our website.
Yeah, like John, super wordsmith.
We should do something like that.
Yeah, just like that. I've added a little white to my mix over here.
But we can't, we're just talking about going out and buying like end runs of product and just selling it to you guys. So we can't say like for sure what we're gonna get. It's gonna be like a, ooh, I wonder what we got today.
The complete Sherpa box is gonna be this stuff, and it'll be like the golden quinacridone that I like, and the titanite yellow that I like. It'll be like the colors that I like, and the glazing medium, and the blendy brush, and the mop brush, and the hog brush. The stuff that's just hard to get. And so that might be a deal compared to going to the store. and certainly all in one. But then the other deals John are talking about, they're going to be like proper deals, like deals.
Yeah, that's but we can't count on how many of those we might get because those are gonna be like the dealy deals of deals that we get to like hunt down.
It's so hard for us not to hint. This is so wrong with us because
Well, no,
I
I
just
mean like
want
we're
to tell
working on
you
it.
guys.
Like, but like what's awesome about it is the
I'm
team.
running this peach through here, through that teal, and look at this. Look at this ocean, man. It just, I love this scene.
As they will tell you, the real thing that's holding us back is that I am yet one set of hands that can ship. And that is our stunt hands Achilles
Heel.
thumb.
Achilles thumb. I'm adding a little docks to the mix here. I want to kind of.
We need. Ooh, that's like a purple glowing beach.
All right. Well, we're putting this second little wave, one little wave, two little wave, rushing to the shore. This is that wet that happens sometimes when the
water gets
yeah,
wet.
when the water gets wet, and I'm come here with a little bit of red and just, we're just trying to. Coming underneath this wave, creating a shadow. You guys see that?
Yeah.
And to create a shadow under my wave. I'm going to bring this one down a little further than I did. I'll move its shadow out a bit because I want it to sort of come here. So I'm going to move that wave down into that when I get into my whitewash. A little darker kind of purple going here. A little bit of some blue on my brush, maybe a little purple, a little blue.
Wow, that's crazy cool.
Get a little white on there.
They're loving the reds.
A little bit of sand happening here, right? Just a little bit there, a little roughness in the sand we got to start thinking about. I'll probably switch it over to some I'm loving this. Just enjoying the process. Fresh water anytime, babe. Okay. This one? Or this one? Over here? Over here? Over here? Up there? Hi, you! I never know where I'm looking. How you guys doing? Let's add some more light coming down through here. Let's get a little of our quinacridone, a little of our cad yellow, and a little of our titanium white kind of working into this reflection coming down, right? Little peachy pink. Still on the toe. This is a number 12 filbert. You could just use my number 8 cat's tongue. That'd be okay. Sometimes I like to put little reflections here and there in the water. But also on the shore's edge here. And come along the top of this sort of little dark ripple. Adding these little highlights. Just on the toe. Just a little bit through there. Look at that come in. So we're getting some water. It's feeling kind of bright. It is. It's feeling kind of bright. Now I'm going to take a little of my Doc's purple over to my phthalo green. Make some of that deep dark blue. I think it's you, babe. I'm cozy.
You think it's just me? I'm getting colder?
I think it might just be you, sweetheart. I'm so sorry.
It's not that it's 20 degrees outside and dropping with a foot of
No,
snow.
no, babe. It's just you.
Just me.
It's in your head.
All in my head.
In
Just
your
look at the pretty
head.
sunset. It'll all go away.
Head. Yeah, sunset. The beach is warm. Maybe that's why I'm warm. I'm looking at this beautiful warm beach. I'm adding little tiny bits of shadow in the water. You want to put shadows back, right?
When you're going into the mixes, if you could let me know which ones you're grabbing.
I am grabbing dioxazine purple and phthalo green.
Because when you were saying this mix over here, they were like, what was in the mix?
Phthalo green and dioxazine purple.
It's
Look
the
at
mix.
that go. Sometimes when I have a bright highlight, I make it a wave. In water, the shadows can be as important as the highlights. I'm just trying to paint it. Have like a gorgeous result. Man, I wish I did this like when I was first on YouTube. It'd have 1 million views. It would. Early days, 7 years ago, 1 million views this video. Because of its awesomeness.
It is awesome.
So awesome. I'm going to rinse out. Rinsing it out. I'm going to come here and get a little bit of my magenta. I have a smidge of my purple in it and some white. You can see it's still pretty magenta. Come over here.
Anne says you are the color whisperer.
Ah, come by it honestly, don't I?
You whisper to the colors?
My mom likes color too. We like the color, right? See my kid, you can be like, and it only amplified generation by generation. It did not get less. And my littlest, oh my goodness. She's such a sense of fashion. My little tiny one, Luna Bella. Color and art. She's about it. Just bringing this magenta in. Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
I love doing it. See how that's going. Oh, just gets better and better, better and better and better and better, better and better and better and better. Oh, I'm gonna put a little bit there. I just like it there. Just kind of a little bit here. See how little bit though it was? Sometimes when you're painting, you just put a little bit of color somewhere and it just is everything. Everything. Let's get back into some aqua.
All right.
Let's take a little bit of my phthalo blue and phthalo green. I can even get into my... What? You see that color?
What was that?
That is the tiny yellow into my phthalo blue, phthalo green. It is a crazy color. And you can see it's a little bit different than even just adding white. Come over here and pop some in.
All right.
A little white into it. Little sea churning. Churn that water in the sea. It will love that you did. On the edge, just kind of adding little maybe imaginative waves. Don't you want a little extra wave in your water? Put a little extra wave in your water.
Mm-hmm. Highlight those. Do, do, do. Wow, this is like...
A really great painting.
Yeah.
That we get to hang on our wall.
It seems like you're like cruising towards the finishing of it.
I might be. Surprisingly enough, I think I estimated an extra hour than what I needed.
I think you turned a corner and we're like, I've done this before and can jam on the waves.
Nothing like... I go a little more yellow here where the foam might be in the sunlight, guys. See here? Want a little more yellow in that.
You've also done clouds a little bit.
You know, at this point, it just gets to be a thing, doesn't it? It's just, you're just here. You're just, you know what it is now. A little wave there. Touch a little bit here. A little extra white. See how I pull a little extra white?
See?
On this dirty, dirty brush. Dirty, dirty brush that you are. Also, painting bigger brushes does speed up the surface.
It does. Using a number 10 bright would have taken a lot
Long
longer.
time.
I'd be like, we've been here for
a minute.
Eon.
Woohoo!
So, this is the benefit of bigger brushes.
There's a really terrific painter on YouTube that uses the tiniest brush in the world, and I'm like, he's like, it took me 100 hours. I'm like, I believe you. I couldn't see how it could take any less.
It's true. If you're just like, you're gonna paint the side of a building, you know, it's gonna take a while if you use a roller.
One little roller. Trying to see those little ripples.
Oh. How come you didn't do it in the middle?
In the middle, what?
You put the highlight over on the right and the left.
We haven't finished here.
Oh. What's the smallest canvas slash thing Sherpa has painted on?
Small is pretty small. Because I've done
Ever-
miniature painting.
Have you painted on a
Like that, like
rice?
no rice, no rice. Like I could do inch by inch kind of thing. I've done ATCs. I've done small stuff.
She painted a painting on a little tiny thing to hang in a dungeon for D&D stuff. So that may count. It was
All right, let's call this a step, and we'll come back and we'll continue on.
Is it? What step is it?
I don't know.
I do.
12.
Step. Because
Probably I'll wrap it up here because I don't like step 13.
We don't have a step 13.
We have 12.5.
No, we have a step with no name. I renamed
I
it.
went through the desert on a step with no name.
Well, because you got a beach. Don't go to the desert. It's a whole different painting. You're going to distract everybody.
All right, let's put a little of my cad yellow out, and even a little cad red can get into it. A little bit. Very bright, though. Very, very bright. We're going to come here. We're going to start to come down center. A little back and forth. So I'm doing a little back and forth for the little ripples.
Amazing colors.
Just coming in.
Oh, dog thinks it deserves my chair more than me.
Dog is not wrong, sweetheart. I don't know what to tell you.
I want to send her over to sit underneath you.
That you fart.
Just be grateful she's over here.
A little bit of just find little highlights that maybe reflect a little bit. A little bit of highlight on that water, right?
Yeah.
Get a little white into it. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not quite yet at the end. What time are we at? How long?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea what time it is. We've been in here for a bit. It says, let me go and see if I can find out when it says we started. Because it'll say, you started streaming a bazillion hours ago.
I need to warm up this center quite a lot. I'm just putting in the first kind of little pop of highlight and reflections and everything that could be going on here. You know, I want to kind of capture that. Then I want to get a little of my cad red and quin magenta into the mix. And it might even have some cad yellow. And let's brighten up this whole center. Look at us go.
I think there was someone here just from South Africa. And I think that it was in South Africa where I saw there's this protected area of beach where the waves wrap around the end of the continent and come up the beach in these really beautiful patterns that they protect. They don't let any structures that are, that could affect the formation of these waves.
Smart.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Don't let anybody touch it.
Yeah, they don't screw up our cool waves.
Don't let them touch it because they will, and then they'll mess it up.
And then the waves come in against the beach in this really
Adding
crazy.
More yellow and more tight knit yellow here. Warming up that center. You got to warm it up.
Heat.
What it is if it's in the sky, it needs to be somewhere in the water.
It's true.
I'm gonna come in and get some orange.
I think it's now 3:30, so it's now. I guess we've been doing it for this about like 2.5 hours.
Wow, we've been cooking. I know that seems like a long time for a lesson, but we've been like moving fast. Let's get some of this little tangerine out here. Then I'll pull some little tangerine in there and warm it up.
Oh yeah.
It's also a good idea on the reflection where the water was wet to add some of that. Get a little bit of yellow here. It's okay if some of the orange gets in it, but I kind of want the yellow. I like to look at it sometimes in the camera so I can really see it. I can see what I've got and how it feels to me. All right. Oh, yeah, because we're not going to Mr. Saved Cow. Thank goodness I've got 2 of these. Now, sometimes it's nice to take your brush out and be like, a couple of spots on the beach that could be like little stones or fakes that can't. No, don't bump me now. You know, a little bit in the water. Give yourself a few little stones. At the end, I will. Promise. Doggles does.
Doggles wants attention.
Was the lick the hand too? There we go. Just a little bit there. I'm really liking this, guys. I'm a happy camp. To be real honest, I like it.
I like it too.
Kind of just working my light down under my sun, right? I'm going to take a little bit of my white over to sort of my earlier foam color, but I'm going to let it be real white. Make it a little light peach. Yeah, guys, I think I might be there. I think I might be satisfied in my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Think you're going to have to sign it now.
I think I do. What do y'all think of this deep dive of a lesson?
I think it's pretty fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
I enjoyed
Our
it.
time together here in Sherpa Land.
Get a nice light color going here.
Look at you painting a painting.
What?
Said, look at you painting a painting. You're so good at it. And we did it with a new thing today.
What was the new thing? Oh, our new. How did everybody like that?
I think so. I think they liked it. They said so. Like it. I always generally find that it's a success if nobody complains about it, and nobody complained about it.
Well, there we go. We signed it. We did it. We painted it. Thumbnail looks like the. Actually, I like the finished painting better, as per the usual. Sometimes paintings just are. They're just kind of wonderful. They're just kind of fantastic. If you want to share yours with me, Instagram, just tag the Art Sherpa. Hashtag that in. If you're on TikTok, for sure, tag me in. I always look for mentions and stuff like that. On Facebook, you can share in this video, like in the comments of this video after it's over, to let you share your finished paintings. It'll let you tag me in on that to the page. But you can also come to the private Facebook group for the Art Sherpa, where you can share the lessons that I teach here with other people, and you'll get a lot of support. If you saw this and you're like, man, I want to be able to paint like that, and you have not done Acrylic April 2021, do the course. Do the course. You can still share. You don't have to be doing 2022 to come to the Acrylic April group and share every day. You can do 2019, you can do 2020, you can do 2021. We're going to be doing 2022. The palette you saw today is the palette that I use. I try to use the same. So here's what. I get that it's expensive. So I try to use the same where I can. So once you invest, you're just there, and you're not having to constantly new thing all the time. So definitely come do that with me. I cannot wait to see yours. Let me know what you thought about the deep dive for sure in the comments. Tell me all the things. As long, you can tell me a lot of things, and there's only a few things where, like, I will pull your comment, like, don't cuss at me or accuse me of stealing or craziness. But if you're like, meh, I'll be like, okay, thumbs up, you're good. But if you're like, hey, this is my question, I'm here for that, I don't even want to say goodbye to him is the problem.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to say goodbye to you today. I don't even want to say goodbye to you today.
It's been so nice seeing everyone.
You know, whether you're watching for Facebook, whether you're watching from YouTube, I really appreciate you being here. Your time matters. Okay? Your time matters. And I appreciate that you chose to spend it with me. I appreciate you chose to trust me when I tell you crazy things like, I think you can paint this. If you need a little extra help, 7 to 10 days after or so comes out a written out, free to download mini book. It's like 36 pages of written instructions. It's crazy. And they're free right now. So take advantage of that. I'll let you guys know as stuff moves forward on these kits, because I'm pretty excited about them. There's only going to be like 100. So, and we only have 6 tickets left on the retreat, I think. I might be wrong. It might be 4.
Less than that now?
Might be 3.
No.
There was a bunch that sold this morning. So that's if you want to paint like this with me and my mom all day for many days, where we eat with you, we paint with you, we talk to you nonstop. That's coming up on it's the week of Mother's Day. It's like during the weekday, but it's going to be pretty good. And there's a couple spots left there. If you miss out on that, don't worry. There are other events. I'm going to be at NAMTA and Creativation. I'll have to let guys know where you can meet me. I don't know if NAMTA's closed. Is NAMTA still closed to the public? We don't know.
We don't know.
But Creativation isn't. So I will be there, and it'll be like, you can just come see me. There's a meetup after the Mother's Day thing, and you can write us if you want to just come to the meetup and say hi on the last day. That's free to come, So there's stuff. And we'll do more retreats and more painting events. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Now, here's some instructions for you. It's a mission. Choose to accept it. It's to be good to yourself, be good to each other, and come back, because I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.